Okay, so remember to always click content so that you could see everything that's due. Um, so in module 3, the assignment is adapting a lesson plan. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick, if you're an ECE major, how to be a good friend. If you're an ELE major, the flipped coin. If you are ECL, so you're majoring in both ECE and ELE, you can just pick one. You don't have to do both. So you're going to pick the one you want to do, and then as you read through it, you're going to consider these questions, and then you're going to fill in the appropriate chart for the assignment. So let's say I picked the ECE one, so I'm going to click that one, and it'll download. And then what I'm going to do, so it's downloading now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read through this How to Be a Good Friend lesson plan and consider these questions. And then I'm going to use the Illinois Early Learning Standards to identify at least 3 SEL standards benchmarks that align, um, describe it, and then say how. And then I'm going to choose one of these diverse learner studies, and I'm going to answer these questions for the one that I choose. And then finally, I'm going to modify the lesson plan. So you should have your chart, your modifications, and then the reflection in your final assignment. So let's say I chose ECE, so I'm going to click How to Be a Good Friend, and it opens up here. Here's the lesson plan. So then I'm going to click the Early Learning Standards. I open that, and it opens up here. I'm going to find the Social Emotional Learning Standards. So I go through, here's language arts, math, science. Here's social emotional is 93. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to go to page 93, and then find the social emotional learning standards. So this is home language. Here we go, social emotional. And then I'm going to say, looking at this, say the social emotional standards benchmark, describe it, and how does it apply. So for example, I could say, for that one, express feelings that are age appropriate in the situation. So this is an example, so I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to paste it here, and then I'm going to describe it and then say how does it align with the lesson, and then so on. So I'm going to pick 4 social emotional standards. Then I'm going to pick the children. So since it's a pre-K or so then it's ECE. So I could do either one, the 4-year-old, the 5-year-old, or the 6-year-old, and I'm going to pick which one I want. So let's say I'm going to pick M, the 4-year-old. So I can just go ahead and delete these others. And then I'm going to say, okay, now these are his SEL challenges. Now, how am I going to modify it for him? I'm going to answer these questions, and then I'm going to answer the reflection, and then hand in this whole document. Now, that's if I were to doing the ECE. If I choose to do the ELE, again, I download the document. Okay, so I downloaded the template for ELE, and then I'm going to use the flipped coin. So this is my lesson plan. And here I have the standards, the Illinois standards, social emotional standards. So it's elementary. So I have here elementary. It shows early and elementary grades, kindergarten through 2nd, and then it goes here. So you can see for each one, for like indicator 1A, it goes like grades kinder through 2nd, grades 3 to 5, 6 to 8, on and on. 1B, kinder to 2nd, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, on and on. So for each one, you have that. So you want to make sure that you're choosing the correct grade. So I am going to look at the lesson, and then I see, so I'm just going to say, since this is an example, which benchmark then would the skills, like which benchmark would be related. So I noticed, let's see, they have to learn how to be centered and focused. They're working in groups. They're using I feel statements. So I would maybe say that they are, if I go through here, self-management, maybe this would be one, and I'm going to copy this one and paste it there, and then I'm going to just describe it, and then I'm going to say how it aligns, and I'm going to pick 4 of them from this document. Then I'm going to pick a case study. So let's say I'm going to pick, so this is a 5th grade, these are all 5th graders. So let's say I'm going to pick Aisha with the sensory. So I'm going to delete this and delete this because I'm picking Aisha. And then I'm going to answer the question for Aisha. I'm going to provide alternative ways to participate in role playing. So this is like, these are just examples of what I could do. So based on the case study selected, 1 or 2 modifications to make the lesson plan accessible. So this is an example of what you could do for Aisha. And then in your response, clarify and explain the following things. So I'm going to explain what could I do, what are some examples some modifications I can make, how can I help support the SEL learning objectives, and what changes can make it more inclusive. And then write a reflection. So here, all of the case studies for these, because this isn't specific for the grade, you can choose the early elementary, the late elementary standards. But for the case study specific, if it's a 5th grade case study, then you should choose a 5th grade standard that you're focusing on. So here in your reflection, for example, where it says how are the modifications support learning objectives? So you would want to reference the specific 5th grade SEL learning objectives. So for example, recognizes signs of frustration, stress or frustration, and then because she has sensory sensitivities, maybe that would be something she can work on, is representing when she's feeling sensory overload, and then figuring out how she can work through that. That would be an example that I could use based directly on this SEL objective from 3rd to 5th grade. So then your reflection. So that's completing the ELE template.